So it's actually kind of exciting reading the paper today. It reminds me of when I was in 5th grade and how my street smart friend Dan knew that it was cool to say you liked lunch best, and with the implication that you hated all the other classes. Even though secretly I loved school because I was kind of a nerd. But it reminds me of how popular it is and how popular it is to diss what's going on, to be a naysayer, and to be a cynic. That's the word I'm reaching for. 5th grade, how old was I in 5th grade? 10 years old? I mean, that's about the time where I'm starting to figure out, if I want to learn how to be a man, if I want to really figure it out and become a man one day, I gotta learn how to be a cynic. I gotta shut my heart down. I gotta forget about possibility, and I gotta learn how to talk about, gee, ain't it awful? And I hear that around town sometimes. If I'm on Nextdoor, if I'm on Facebook, I hear about, gee, ain't it awful? And I don't know if there's a lot of people talking about it. I don't know if there's a lot of naysayers or not. I guess I have a tendency to notice when people talk that way, because it reminds me of my own little wound inside of me of growing up as a boy and figuring out the way to become a man is to become a naysayer and a cynic. I mean, I took that on. I guess the way I took it on, becoming a teenager, was, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to talk about possibilities and how excited I am about life. I'm going to numb myself out. And there's a part of me that's going to become hopeless as a teenager and just live into that in my 20s and my 30s. And it's only in my 40s I started doing the personal work of kind of snapping out of that trance of the naysayer, the trance of the cynic. And so I was pretty excited to read the Argus Courier today, because in my own mind, in my own reality inside of my head, as I'm reading the Argus Courier, there's a lot going on. There's the haystack project just got approved. There's people working on, let's rebuild the trestle. There's people working on, let's dredge the river. Let's forget about federal Army Corps funding. Let's figure out how we're going to do this ongoingly with local funds and local means. And here I am on a Thursday at around 12:30, middle of the day, paddling my kayak down a high tide river. So yeah, life is good for me. And I guess that's what I like to share with other people too, is for all of us here in Petaluma. The sun is rising on Petaluma. Life is good here in Petaluma.